welcome to Pedal Down 4x4. Today, we're driving the 4Runner. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Pedal Down 4x4. And on today's episode, we're driving the 4Runner today, as I have promised multiple times, and I have not given you guys the results. So Wyatt's with me. Wyatt's recording.
What's happening?
There it is. I can't do anything crazy. The front pinion is about to blow up. So it's about to go, but I mean, the 4Runner goes pretty well for what it's doing right now. You guys can see well, you can't really tell, but it is in full drive right now. You might be able to hear, I'll roll the window down a little bit. You guys hear a whining sound. That is not the Supercharged. We can't
really give it the beans.
We can't really give it the beans today. The 4Runner is going to be getting the front diff out of the Tacoma, so it's getting the 488s, because the 529s are great and all, but it's just that it's a pain to drive on the road, and I don't use this truck very often anymore. So when I do use it, it's better to have a 488 just for daily driving or whatever I gotta do, pick up groceries. There is the my daughter's car seat in the back, because it's my family car, right? It's family car. So, but yeah, I mean, there's really nothing much to it. It drives like a standard 3.4, just has a little bit more boogie to it, as you would have seen in that intro. So, I mean, there's really nothing much to talk about driving the 4Runner. It's still a standard car. There's nothing much different. I mean, do you feel anything different other than more power?
Nah, the only difference I see is the radio nowadays. That's the only thing I see different. Because I swear it was cherry before that swap, but
hot.
Right there.
My
he worked though. As long as he worked.
It does still work. It still plays music, so that's it's solid. He's trying to figure out what island he's on. NANI? But yeah, there's no difference. You guys see right now the coolant temp is getting a little warm. It's about 200, 201 now. I have a fan on the side. That's gonna switch onto the front fans that I talked in the review. There's 3 fans. There's a 16 and 2 12s. The 16 is off of a Morimoto fan switch or heater switch, but I don't know what the it's called. The 2 fans are off the switch, so when I see it getting a little warm, I hit the switch and it tries to bring the temp down. It's still going up. I don't know what the UZs like to run at. I know for a 3.4 that's a little warm. Maybe it's normal, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing's gonna blow up. We have no idea. But yeah, that's driving the 4Runner, I guess. So walk around of the car. I was gonna floor it, but there's like a bunch of people on the beach, so I guess not. I guess we're not doing that today. All right, you guys. So this is the walk around of the 4Runner. Now, I guess we'll start off what it is. It's a 2000 Toyota 4Runner. It's a 3rd gen. It has a 4.3 V8. It's a supercharger off of a M112 Mustang. But we'll start with the armor. This is a 4x Innovations front plate bumper. It's just a basic model that you can get. I believe they come with these lights and whatnot. In the bumper, it's running I think it's a X20 or Comp 20 winch X20 from Smittybilt. So it's a Comp 20. It's got the X20 Fairlead on it. It's got a synthetic rope with the factory hook. Rock sliders are going to be 4x Innovations as well. This is the 4x Innovations rear bumper. Now, the 4x Innovations rear bumper, when you first get it, they do not have these hoops on each side of the car. This is something that I did because if you have a 4Runner or any kind of like wagon or whatever SUV, if you're going wheeling, you're gonna notice that like right up here it gets very close to trees and like rocks and shit. So I put this on, and actually a week later it did save this side of the car. Down yonder, down there, that is a TRD, or not, it's actually not TRD, but it's a SRQ fabrication stainless steel skid plate. It has a TRD logo in it, so that's pretty cool. It does its job. It's protected. It's the 4Runner. I've hit a lot of stuff. This is my BBI. It's my big black intake, 4 inches. Sucks in air. It's cold, and it has this little condom tip thing. That's so it's like a pre-filter, so it's like water and dust and shit. It's got this pretty cool like honeycomb thing on it. This was welded by one of my friends, PJ. He has a welding business. It's Timeless Custom Fabrication. He's on Instagram if you want to hit him up. He does really good work. So I pre-cut all the pieces and then he TIG welded it all together because I can't TIG weld. I also don't even have a TIG welder. Up top, it's gonna be a Prinzu rack. It's just your standard Prinzu rack. Standard Prinzu rack. It's rusted to shit. Do I recommend it for the price? Yeah. But the bolts suck because they're all like just factory. They're regular steel. I don't know. They don't. I guess they're not stainless steel because they're all rusting, which is kind of butt cheeks.
Damn shame.
This is it says Dan Shell Outdoor. It's awning. It's from Amazon. It does the job. It was like $150 when I bought it. It's still going. Does it leak? Yes. Does it have holes? Yes. Do I want to get a different one? Yes. Do I recommend it? No. So anyway, this is a Hilux Surf replica. It is a replica spoiler. So they had these for some of the Hilux Surfs. This is from Bertman Industries. Now, there are a lot of mixed feelings with Bertman Industries. My experience with them has been ass. Straight butt cheeks. I'm not gonna defend them. It's a great product. However, it took me 3 months to get this in, and they had it in stock. I had to contact them for about a month and a half for them to ship it out. Is it a good piece of kit? Yes. Is someone's experience gonna be better with them? Probably. Mine sucked. Oh, and they're just a random Tundra hood because there's crackheads walking around.
A starter from a spaceship.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. Still good.
I think that's a starter from like a Boeing 747. So I guess we'll get into suspension. We're already out here. So down here we have this bar. This is not from Opt Off Road. I made this myself. It's running Bilstein 13-inch travel shocks in the back. It just relocates because of stuff factory. Shock mount is like down here, some shit, and it sucks to get to, so I'm over that. So we have this big hoop that I made. The rear springs are Land Cruiser front springs. So everyone asks me what springs I'm running in the back of the 4Runner. It is Land Cruiser front springs. They are stock. It's Dobinson's, that's why it's teal, but it is a stock height spring. The links are gonna be all Ching Chong China, baby. They are eBay links. This is not an expensive car to build, honestly. Ching Chong links on the bottom. They're fully adjustable. The poly bushings are 100% shot to shit. So that's great. The front on this truck is running Total Chaos Fabrication upper control arms. These are the standard ones. They have the poly bushings down there. And then it's also running a Icon 2.5 with Resi coilover. So that's pretty much it for the suspension. There's really nothing to it. There's nothing to the front suspension or the rear suspension on this car. It's very standard. So I guess we'll get into the engine. This engine right here, this is a 3UZ out of a 2002 Lexus LS 430. You're gonna notice that if you ever bought a Lexus, they didn't come with a supercharger, not at that time anyway. So this supercharger, if you're a Mustang guy, you will know it very well. This is out of a SVT Cobra Terminator Mustang. It's a 2001 model blower. It's a Eaton M112. Now this supercharger, I ported it. I stripped the coating on the rotors because they were shot and they were flaking off, so I took that out. Ported it and polished some of the stuff in there just to make it, I don't know, I thought it'd be better. I closed the silencer ports on the supercharger, so that's why it whines very loud. And then the I rebuilt the nose cone and I rebuilt the rear bearings. So the supercharger is completely rebuilt. That was done very cheaply off of off of eBay. It's been working pretty good. Brakes are standard, completely standard brakes. This is an oil catch can. So this catch can comes from both sides, each bank. Now, matter of fact, actually I'm not gonna empty that thing. So actually I should empty this thing. It's probably like, oh, that's hot as hell. Never mind, it's hot. But this is a catch can. It's a breather style catch can, so it vents the atmosphere. So I'm contributing to everything bad in the world. It's about halfway full. It's good. This catch can, if you want to buy a catch can like this is very expensive. It's like 20 bucks on Amazon. It's not a good catch can. It does the job, so whatever. It vents all the shit out, doesn't go back in the intake. This is my electrical system. I've had a lot of guys saying, you have so much stuff hooked up to this battery, blah, 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 blah. It's not that much stuff, guys. This wire is for the subwoofer in the back. This wire is for the fuse box. You have your starter wire here. This wire right here, this is for your alternator. And I forget what this one's from. One of them is from the alternator. One of them is for the starter. I forget. The other one is for the winch.
This one.
Yeah, it might be this one or this one for the winch. I think it's this one actually. This is for the winch, this is for the starter, I think. I'm not sure. It's somewhere down there, I can't tell. You have your body ground right here. So this grounds to the body, this grounds to the frame, this is the winch ground, this is for the headlights. That's it. There's no big fuse panel box here that's controlling all the stuff. There's not a bunch of electronics in the car. That's it. So we're gonna move on this side. This here, this is where you get a lot more wiring. Now this stuff in here in this fuse box, and I would take it apart, it's a pain in the ass. This box sucks, don't buy it. But this has your starter, it has a starter relay in it. It has the injectors, the igniter, or not igniter, but the injectors, the ignition coil. It has the fan. These are all the relays for the aftermarket part of this build. So everything to do with the swap, it's in this fuse box right here. So if anything goes wrong, I can diagnose it from this box. There is a circuit breaker right here. That circuit breaker is for the fuel pump. So the way I wired this system was, it's key on, you get fuel. That's it. The circuit breaker is there, so if I need to do any kind of diagnosis or if I'm doing something else, I need the key on, I hit the circuit breaker, it pops circuit, the fuel pump doesn't run, and then I can have the key on and do whatever I gotta do. In the corner over there, you can't see it, but there's another circuit breaker. That's the power to this whole unit. So the whole fuse box, that powers the whole system. This is the donkey wiener intake system that I got going on. There is a filter in here. It's from Spectra Racing or Spectra Ching Chong China, whatever it is. There's a cone filter in here. Does it work? I mean, I guess. Truck's still running, hasn't blown up yet, so it's pretty good. And that's about it. If you do gonna get this for your build, just pay attention to the CFM. You're gonna want to match your CFM to your truck's wide open capability. So this flows just enough for this engine, because the engine is small. It's a small V8. It's a 4.3. Then oh, this right here. This is the power steering reservoir down here. This is mounted just using all factory bolts actually, but this is from like a 04, 05 4Runner, whatever one had the V8 in it. That is off of that, and I just adapted the power steering lines. It's running all MSD ignition coils because the other coils were cracked and they weren't doing that great. This hose right here that's not seeing anything, that's for my windshield washer fluid, and there's no windshield washer, so it's just sitting there. One day I'll figure out, I'll hook this bitch back up because I had to dump water and use a baby wipe to wipe my windshield. Now,
what is that, guy? What is that? I gotta get a closer look.
All right, so this is
a training tool for kids to learn how to count, because this thing goes up to about 20.
So this is the washers to space out the hood, because the engine does get warm and does get hot. So I spaced it out to do everything I could to try and keep the engine cold. Is it Ricer? Yeah, it's Ricer. It's Ricer as hell, but
Cheap build.
it's a cheap build. You know, we want to keep this truck cheap. So this truck is still, with everything done to this truck, it's still under 20 grand with the price of the car. That's cheap. That's super cheap for what you get. You're gonna notice this little thing right here. This is a methanol injector. Yes, this truck does run methanol injection. So I'll show you guys the methanol kit that is in the back of the truck. But I'm gonna show you guys another thing. I'm gonna close this hood. Got a lot of questions about this hood. This hood is off of it. Hold on, give me a second here. We'll figure that out. That hood is off of a 79 series Land Cruiser. It's cracking. So this is fiberglass. So this whole thing is fiberglass. Whatever you guys do, do not use that bullshit fiberglass fill. Use fiberglass. This side I use fiberglass. This side I use that fiberglass fill. It cracks. So when I do more work, there's gonna be a lot more stuff going on with the 4Runner. I'm waiting for more fiberglass parts to come in. If you want to take a guess on what that kind of stuff is, you can take a guess, leave it in the comments. I'm gonna repair this hood. I'm gonna cut from here all the way up here and repair. It's not cracked up here yet, but I don't like that fiberglass fill. It has failed. Don't use it. This little screen right here, I've been asked about this too. That is a grate that was on the ground at my workplace that I've cut and I've JB welded onto the front. And it works. I left a little gap here, so it's a little scientific. Let me move the dirt, but water hits it and it runs off and it doesn't go on the engine. So is it functional? Yeah, kind of, I guess. But we'll go in the back of the truck now. This is arguably probably my favorite spot on this car, is the back of this setup right now. Again, this is a Sherpa box air. This is an air compressor with a little tank. This is a 6-gallon jug of water that I forgot to take out. We use that for like camping, washing dishes, and whatnot. This is the methanol tank. So there's a little cap right here. You unscrew the cap and you can fill up the methanol. On the gauge in the 4Runner, it'll tell me when I'm low on methanol. That sprays only when I'm on boost. And to be honest, anybody who boosts like a daily driver or boosts a car that they're driving every day or whatever, you're gonna realize that you don't go in the boost, because that first 2 weeks you have that like, oh, it's fast, like it's quick now. I can hear that supercharger, I can hear that turbo. After that 2 weeks, you just driving to work. You ain't even doing nothing much.
Save money on gas.
Yeah, save that money on that gas. This is a fire extinguisher. If you have a modified car, regardless, in my opinion, you need to have a fire extinguisher. At least in someone's vehicle. This bitch, it runs hot. It's running methanol from here all the way to the engine. There's AN fuel lines. That kind of stuff can fail. It's on a quick release. Pull this lever, pull out. That's it. So hose off your stuff, whatever, if your shit's on fire. So that's secure, that's in there. Now, back here, you can't really tell, nothing, there's a compartment right back here. You'll see a little loop, and you see this cover, it can flop around. That's gonna be for when I do the dual battery system and any other electronics. So eventually I wanna transfer any electronics except the winch and the engine swap stuff to right there. So it'll be under this little box. It'll have the inverter. It's gonna have the dual battery system, charger, everything. Roll of duct tape, because you have to have rolls of duct tape. There's another cover here. This lifts up. This is where you can just store some stuff. I have some tire tread patch stuff. I've never used it before. I've never tried, so I have it there just in case. This is an empty cavity to store anything else you want. Now behind this cover, this is the magic. This down there is the methanol pump. So that pumps the methanol from the tank to the injector. So when I go into boost, that pump is gonna turn on and it's gonna give me methanol. It is a stage system and it's also on a delay. So it ramps up the methanol per pound of boost. I think it starts at 2 PSI. It'll start spraying, and at 100% spray, it's at a 6 or 7 PSI. Now, this is my favorite part. Everyone might think that V8 supercharger is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of this truck because this truck uses to camp. A couple little drawers here. This is just like keep some quick, easy stuff in here. This is just the straps we use to tow people, or if we get stuck, winch. I just have that there. This is the drawer. So it's a locking drawer. It's a locking drawer. All right.
Boy, it was right there.
There. So this is a locking drawer that I have in the 4Runner. I have a bunch of stuff in here. Tow hitch, whatnot. I have some fuel for when we go camping. Tent pegs, tire kit. I have this plastic stuff. I forgot why I have that. For when you're trying to get busy with your missus and you don't want anything on the covers, I guess. Tools, shotgun shells, bullets, because I just came back from hunting. There's some random stuff that this drawer is usually full with stuff when we go camping. It's a little lever right here. You pull this guy out. Now, if there's one thing on this build I wish I did, I wish I made them all locking. See that? This guy will move back and forth. Not a huge deal, but I wish I did keep it a locking drawer. She'll go back in. Now, this is the cooking setup. So, once again, I wish I did a locking system on this too, because try to cook on that. So, I have a very high-tech solution. A tent peg. Drop it right here. Like that. She stays solid, barely moves, I guess you could say. Has a little aluminum table. If you're camping, hunting at the beach like we are right now, make a sandwich, make whatever you want to do, you can make it right here. Grab this guy. She pops up. I have my favorite gas cooker. I've turned Wyatt into a believer on that one.
Yep. 20 bucks.
20 bucks. Best 20 bucks cooker you're ever gonna buy. Single burner. It lights off. You just lock the fuel in. Every time. Real simple. I think
it gets hot.
And yeah, it gets surprisingly hot. It gets super hot. So that's always in there. I think it's actually low on fuel on this one, but that's why I have another cartridge in there. You can put little other things. There's still oil on here because of when I was making like sausages and bacon and whatever. Another flap here. This opens up. Now, this guy will come out. There's a couple things in here. There's a skillet or like a griddle. You can make stuff. There's a cutting board. And then if you need a spare table, this guy will also come all the way out. So the way I get that one out is, let's say we need another table or whatnot. I can close this guy down, pull this guy out, and you now have a separate table. You can put it somewhere I want to make legs for it and keep the legs in the truck, and then I can literally have another table. That'd be freaking awesome. But she slides back in there. The cooking setup we used at I used at camp was, all I did was I had this guy on here. It was cooking. This guy over here on this little drawer. Look at that. You cannot get any better than this setup. Well, I mean, you can, but this is all DIY. I did this shit myself. I love it. This is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted out of this. I can cook, everything like that. Now, let's say you don't need this chopping table. You have this out a little bit, and and there's wind from the side. There's a little flap. You pull this flap back, and there's a little wind guard. I made this just because there was extra space, and I was like, why not? Use it to hold your utensils, all the other stuff. So if you're cooking, you can even put this down. Use it to hold your utensils. When you're done with it, slides back in. This flap covers it. Never knew it was there. So pretty simple setup. I have made boxes before in the past, and every single one has come out differently just because you learn. My first box was okay. It was all right. It did its job because the 4Runner, I used to use it as basically a work vehicle. Now the 4Runner would I basically used to use it as like a tradie car. So if you're from Australia, you know what a tradie is. If you're from America, you don't know what a tradie is. A tradie is like mechanic, electrician, plumber, those kind of guys, carpenters. So it was just 2 big boxes I used to carry all my mechanic tools in so I could work on people's cars. So that's pretty much it. Up here, there's some eBay lights. Oh, that's right. I forgot. The battery is dead. There's a jump pack in the front seat because Optima batteries suck. This turns on, all lights turns on. It's just hooked up to this dome light, I guess you could say. And I guess we'll move on to the back seat and the front seat. So the front seat or the back seats on this car is a mess.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. It's right here. We just came back, or not we just came back. We came back a while back from camping. Wyatt has gifted me the crapper shovel, which is awesome. I use that extensively. Tonkatsu. Quick meal. Clothes. Baby seat because my daughter, she can ride in the car.
No pull-out game.
Hey, bro, I was playing. I don't pull out. You know what I'm saying? I was playing Russian roulette for like 8 years, and I finally lost that battle. But I love my daughter. She is definitely the best thing. She's a absolute crybaby, but she's great. Chainsaw because me and Wyatt have gone camping. End of year camping. What was it? Last year?
Last year.
That was the year before last year, actually.
Damn, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. There was like, what, 7 trees?
Yeah, 3 huge trees.
Three
like
big trees where we put Wyatt's Tacoma on at the 4-door. He was yanking that thing. The Tacoma just did not have the weight. It didn't have the weight to physically move the tree out of the road. So good thing we had
a cruiser.
Yeah, we had the 80 with the big Bertha, so she was heavy enough, and she just was able to actually have enough weight to get traction to pull the tree off the road. And we did that a few times. We cut, what did we cut off? We cut like 7 or 8 trees off.
Yeah, it was like, what, 3 hours of
cutting. Yeah.
In a 30-minute trail.
Yeah, so we didn't get in till about 12:30, and we got there at the beginning of the trail at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. So carry a chainsaw. If we didn't have this chainsaw, we would have turned our happy asses around and we would have figured out something else. We would have went somewhere else. But also it does have vinyl flooring. The whole 4Runner is vinyl flooring. That's great, especially if you're me. Obviously I don't clean my cars very well. And it's got this lumberjack plaid thing. It's also on the roof as well. So It's all this fabric. I don't know. It looks cool, I guess. I wanted to change it, but I'm not doing that shit again. So, front seat. I guess I'll go on the other. Okay, so guess what? GoPro died again. So we're gonna make this quick, like a car salesman. Now, we have 3 gauges right here. We got oil pressure, we have fuel pressure, and we have our methanol gauge. I would turn the car on, battery's dead, so I have a jump starter in the back. Scan gauge 3, that's gonna read all my other stuff. Coolant temp, ignition timing, throttle position, all that stuff. It's really cool to have. It's also, I can do OBD diagnostics off of it. It's like a scanner. We have an EVCX throttle controller from Ultimate 9. That controls how sensitive the throttle is. Right now, it's on Economy 9. That's going to be this stuff. I'm going through this kind of fast because the GoPro is f***ing up again. Aux beam panel, not hooked up. I'm going to hook up the new panel in the back or the new system and then like, get this panel working again. It's a good unit. Right here, we have our custom Pioneer head unit.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful unit. As you can obviously tell, it's not damaged at all. It still does work through my little cable here. Up here, we have a panel mirror because back in the day, I used to watch Tokyo Drift and I thought this was cool. Now I don't, but I can't. I mean, I don't have an option to put a mirror on because we have this guy here. This is from a Hilux Surf. This will show you the direction that you're driving, temperature, all that fancy shit. It still operates my sunroof because it has a sunroof, but I don't like to use it because if you have a sunroof, you know once you use it, it's never gonna seal again. So that's gonna stay shut. This is a altimeter, inclinometer thing. This is from like a first gen Toyota Hilux or Hilux Surf or whatever. I thought it was cool, so I installed it. No, it's not a bolt-on fit. Yes, you have to cut shit. That's why there's this dash mat on it, because if I show you guys, you're gonna see the crimes against humanity that I have done to this car. That's pretty much it in here. Winch remote, winch cable, or not winch cable, but the actual winch wire to hook up. It is a wireless, but if it does die, then I could use the actual cable. White I already said, but we have wet quality seat covers in here. That is off of my fiance's Corolla because she decided she wanted to get rear-ended at like 40 miles an hour, so that was cool. Still a J-shift transfer, 5-speed manual, R150F. Everything else in here, bone stock. There's nothing in here that's really different and or changed. So got some snacks from Wyatt because you gotta have breakfast.
Yeah, extra pocket right between the vinyl if you like.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks for showing my up cut.
There you go. Vinyl.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. In the 4Runner. So that is pretty much it for the 3rd gen 4Runner walk around and drive. Lots of more stuff coming up for the 4Runner, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching.